Hi, it's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. So, a little while ago, one of my clients shared something with me. He just said something offhand comment in a coaching session. And I just knew I was going to have to talk about it, write about it, because I thought it was pretty darn profound and I wanted to share it. And so, here's what he said. He said, organization is self care. To me, organization is self care. And I had never thought about it that way, but I thought, oh my God, he is totally right, right? Organization is a form of self care, and it's one that he was finding was working really well for him. Now, I don't just mean like organization of your stuff, right? Organizing your closets. We were talking about like organization of the mind, right? Making sure that we're getting all of those thoughts out there and into a system so that we can know what we need to do and prioritize correctly. Like that's the kind of organization that we were talking about. I actually think that we're also talking about, folding some clothes as well and some organization there, but mainly organization of the mind. And so I thought I wanted to share that with you because oftentimes, when I am working with clients, one of the first things that we do is we kind of run through what their normal week looks like or what a day looks like, just so I can get a good picture of what's going on. And one thing that I always ask is like, what are you doing for self-care? What are you doing to care for yourself? And so often I am met with the question, what do you mean? Like, what is self-care, right? I think people think I mean like bubble baths and massages, and I don't mean that, right? I mean much more aligned with what my client had said about organization, right? Nobody has ever said that to me the first session, but I start to say, okay, well, what does self-care mean to you? Self-care is just things you do for you, like not for anybody else, things you do for you to make you feel good, right? In the short term or the long term. Self-care is things that like setting boundaries, right? And enforcing those boundaries. It is making space for yourself, for the things that you need. Self-care can be, yes, it can be a massage and a bubble bath for sure. Those are more, I think, Band-Aid type solutions than longer term solutions. But self-care is really anything you do to set yourself up for success. It's things, practices that you put in place, strategies that you're using to buoy you through those hard times. And so when my client connected self-care to organization for him, I thought, yeah, this is totally right. Because what happens when you start to put some organization around the things that you need to do, the thoughts that you have going on in your head, when you have a system and a place for, the incoming messages, a strategy for that, and for all of your to-dos, the things you think you need to do, the things you think you have to do, the things you really do have to do, for all of that stuff. When it's organized, you feel two things, right? You feel much more calm because everything has a place. You feel confident in your ability to prioritize. Maybe it's more than two things. I'm confident in your ability to prioritize things because you know that you know what's there, and what you're going to get to today is more important than the things that you're not going to get to. There are always going to be things that you don't get to, and that's okay as long as we know what they are, as long as we can organize them, right? And also, you're going to feel a lot more in control. When things are organized, we feel more in control. Now, do I mean that we're going to be super organized, tidy people in all aspects of our lives? Like, no, right? I mean, if you go look at my bedroom right now, you will see that there's probably clothes on the floor. I'm not like the most organized person. But when we have organized the stuff, right? The stuff that usually is just jumbled all in our head, then all of these extra benefits come through. And then that can really be categorized as self-care, right? I remember also one time a client told me that when she does her daily planning, she thinks of it as her daily meditation, right? That's another form of self-care, of organization as self-care. So I just wanted to share this with you because I thought it was pretty profound, and I wonder what you think. Let me know in the comments. Are there things that you do that you think of as self-care that are not like bubble baths and massages and, going to sit and read a book with a hot cup of tea, or things that are great, but that aren't those standard self-care things that you hear about? What do you do to help yourself, to put boundaries in place, to organize the stuff that's going on in your mind? And if you're not doing anything that you consider self-care right now, what could you do, right? Could you do something really small right now? Could you look around at your desk at all those Post-its and all your to-do lists on different papers and just put them in one place, right? Could you write down the thing that's stressing you out the most and come up with one action you can take today to move that thing forward, to make that thing less stressful? What is one thing that you could do that we can think of as self-care that is small that you could do today? Because progress, it isn't like this huge jump step, right? Progress happens a little bit at a time. And so even when things are overwhelming, even when things seem out of control, putting some organization around it can bring that back into control and can make you feel a little more calm. Now, I want to also mention that if you would like some help with this kind of stuff, I am going to be enrolling for my program Time Well Spent near the end of this month. And so, if that is something that you're interested in, you might want to learn more about, then go ahead and click the link right below this video in the description, and you'll find some extra info there if that's something that you might like help with. And if not, then just think about what I said today, right? What is one small thing that you could do to help yourself feel more organized and to take care of yourself, because that's important.
Hey guys, it's the video editor here. I just want to quickly pop in and say that only about 20% of you people are subscribed that watch the videos. And if you're watching to the end like this and you really love our content, it'd be a big help to the channel to subscribe to it. So, yeah.